stream is about to break off near Alaska and plunge towards the continental US during Thanksgiving. This could cause heavy snow, strong winds, and maybe even severe thunderstorms for millions of people across the country. But there are still several questions about who's going to get what. The smallest change in the forecast could be the difference between a massive East Coast storm or a simple cool breeze during your post-turkey nap. Currently, things look to be a little bit more on the active side, so in this video, I'm going to let you know what that means for you. Well, a lot of you are probably pretty cold as our big Arctic blast continues to bottom out thermometers across the majority of the lower 48. This cold mass of air is going to stick around for a few more days, but slowly, warm air advection from the southwest will creep into the picture, bringing more seasonable temperatures back to many of us through the beginning of next week. This is awesome news for people around the Great Lakes because this is going to force the system out of here that's been causing all the crazy lake effect snow. And speaking of that lake effect snow, there are two separate areas that received over 6 feet of snow over the past few days. 77 inches. 77 inches is the highest total that was recorded, and that came out of the Orchard Park subdivision in Buffalo, New York. Some spots in the area have set new all-time records for the highest snow totals ever recorded. The NFL actually had to move a Buffalo Bills game to Detroit on Sunday due to the insane amount of snow inside of the Bills stadium. And the governor of New York has dispatched the National Guard to assist in removing this snow from some of the worst affected areas. This news is coming after we learned that 2 people are reported to have passed while attempting to clear pathways around their homes. So the very long melting and thawing out session is going to start probably around Wednesday, as most of the country is going to start seeing higher than average temperatures. So the weather's going to be pretty nice for everyone leading up to Thanksgiving. But around Tuesday, the 22nd, we start to notice a disturbance up here in the Pacific Northwest that will bring rain, snow, and wind to portions of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. This is associated with that big break of the jet stream that's falling towards the US. And remember, in our last video, I educated you on the North Atlantic Oscillation, and I told you about how that would bring chances for snowstorms in the eastern US come late November and early December. Well, we're already starting to see that happen in some of the recent forecast models. Both the GEFS and EPS model ensembles are signaling a very amplified ridge to build over the west coast. This will force a trough to dig in over the eastern US. To put it frankly, this is what's going to bring the cold air back after Thanksgiving, and this cold air bearing trough will likely spark a storm system somewhere along the East Coast as we get closer to Thanksgiving. In fact, the latest Euro model shows a classic East Coast storm bringing strong winds and heavy snow to many in New England on Black Friday. Watch how this cold air swoops in from the north, interacts with the warm air in the Atlantic, and mixes everything together over the northeastern US to form a nasty storm that would certainly cause major travel and holiday plan disruptions. The Canadian model shows something very similar with strong winds and heavy snow in the northeast after Thanksgiving. But here's the thing, another trusted forecast model, the GFS, is now showing a massive storm after days of showing nothing at all. The GFS solution is quite a bit different though, bringing the trough in farther west and pulling in a lot more energy from the Gulf of Mexico. This would lead to a real severe weather threat in the deep south, some backside snow in the Ohio Valley, and another real shot at some snow in the northeast. Although this model is now showing a system, the overall picture is very different from what we're seeing on the Canadian and Euro models. What does this mean? Well, it could mean that what actually happens is going to fall somewhere between the spaces of what we're seeing currently on the models. And that does include a massive East Coast storm that drops a ton of snow from Tennessee to Maine and brings blizzard conditions to the big cities on the East Coast. But could that actually happen though? I'm going to tell you right after we show some love for today's awesome sponsor, Established Titles, the Scottish custom that helps save the planet. With Established Titles, all you weather weenies can officially become weather lords and ladies. This unique Scottish custom allows any individual to buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land so that they can earn the official title of Lord or Lady. How freaking cool is that? Y'all are gonna have to refer to me as Lord Ryan now that I have the official certificate. Each section of land has its own unique plot number so you can actually see its exact location at any time. And if that wasn't awesome enough, Established Titles works closely with global charities such as One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future in order to plant 1 tree for every single order they receive. Established Titles even sells couple packs with side-by-side plots of land that that make perfect last-minute gifts for loved ones. So purchase your plot today. You'll be helping out the environment and my channel. And when you use my discount code, you're going to get 10% off your purchase. That's right, just click that link down in the description. You're going to get 10% off and you're going to be a lord or a lady, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to love it. Now, let's get back into the video. All right, so what all of this actually means is what exactly happens with this upcoming storm system is still very much up in the air. I personally think the GFS is out to lunch. There's just too much of a signal here to ignore. I don't know how anybody could miss it at this point. But since there's such a big discrepancy between what all the models are showing, the forecast will undoubtedly change a lot as we go forward. This thing still has the opportunity to turn into an even bigger, more impactful East Coast storm, as all signs are pointing towards a very energetic trough digging down into the US with a negative tilt. The European model is already starting to point this out. If this ends up being the solution, we could be talking about a big nor'easter right after Thanksgiving. And I'm talking about blizzard conditions, bone-chilling wind gusts, and maybe even over a foot of accumulation for places like Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. There's also a chance that this shifts west and affects more of the Appalachian region and brings severe thunderstorms farther south. But no matter what, something is bound to happen with all this energy, and that's why this channel exists. I'm just letting you know it's out there. There will be a storm. There will be frigid air. We just don't know how intense it'll be and who's going to see what just yet. Here's my current take on what we could expect. Of course, as we get closer, we're going to know more about this storm, and I'm going to have more detailed maps with blue and red, discerning where the snow is going to happen, where the severe weather might happen, etc., etc. But for now, the orange here means that you could see unsettled weather, and this is Thanksgiving Day. We're talking about a rain shower, gusty winds, some snow, nothing really crazy here, but definitely enough to disrupt some travel plans when you're going around and seeing family. Now, the day after Turkey Day is also a very intensive travel day. For the first time in a couple years, a lot of the big box stores are going to start having Black Friday sales again with no restrictions due to COVID. So I'm sure we're going to have millions of people out scrambling to get the latest deals. And unfortunately, they're going to be dealing with some bad weather while they're at it. This day, I actually think has the chance of being the biggest day. That's why you see that dark orange there, which means very unsettled weather. This is where we're talking about thunderstorms, heavy rain, and possibly even some strong winds, maybe even enough to knock out power in a couple areas. And somewhere on the northern extent of that dark orange region, we could be seeing a full-on snowstorm, or at least the beginning of one. Now, if you don't want to get out in this mess and get trampled in a big Black Friday sale, I've got a solution for you. My website, shopryanhall.com, is going to be having a Black Friday through Cyber Monday sale that you can take advantage of from the couch, at home. You don't even have to get out in the rain. I'm just saying, we've got some cool stuff over there, so you might want to check it out. And then, of course, on Saturday, we got to go out and support the small businesses, okay? The mom and pop shops on Small Business Saturday. Unfortunately, this is the day we are most likely to see the effects of our suspected nor'easter if what the Euro is cooking actually ends up on the menu. Very unsettled weather will be likely across much of the Northeast, but especially in New England. The majority of the snow risk lies several miles inland, closer to the higher elevation areas in New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire. But like I said earlier, this zone can shift to the east or west as time goes forward. Now, if you want it to snow, make sure you slap that like button and hit subscribe. The goal is to hit 1 million subscribers before Christmas. And if you don't want it to snow, if you hate snow, also slap the like button. The action doesn't mean as much as the intent, and I can only control the weather for you based on my subscriber count, okay? I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. Now, of course, on Sunday and Monday, when we're all going back inside to take advantage of those Cyber Monday deals, the weather looks like it's going to be the nicest out of all these days. Of course, this is good news for everybody that's going to be traveling back home after visiting with family and friends. But notice to the west, there's a new area of unsettled weather coming into the picture, and this could be another storm that's going to try to come in and be a doozy after Thanksgiving. This one is also looking like it could be a big one, so we're going to look at it closely in the future, but we have to take it one storm at a time, okay? One storm at a time. That's all I can do. All right, huge shout out to all of our members over here. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the channel. Guys, we are getting deep into winter, all right? It's not even winter yet, and we're getting deep into winter, so we're going to be talking about snow a lot as we go forward. If you live in a place that gets snow, or if you live in a place where you want to see snow, right now is the time to subscribe to the channel, and also our extra channel. I've been uploading pretty much daily over there. My goal is to update pretty frequently over there, but no matter what's happening, and then make videos on this channel whenever big things are happening. So just subscribe to both. It's not my fault I have to make two channels. It's the way YouTube works, and nothing would work out if I tried to put them all on the same channel. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Ooh.